Hi everyone, I'm Viola, and this is 5 Things I Like. Hi everyone, welcome to 5 Things I Like. If this is a return visit for you, thank you for coming back, and if this is your first time with us, welcome. If you watched last week's video, I think you'll understand what I mean when I say I'm still kind of playing a little bit of catch-up, but nevertheless, I'm ready to dig in. The first story I'm going to tell you is about a little girl named Leah Still. She's the daughter of Cincinnati Bengals player Devin Still. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not much of a football watcher, but over the summer, I saw hashtag Leah Strong, and I kind of saw some little things on the ESPN feed about, Devin Still and his daughter and the bond, and I wasn't quite aware of what it was until the Spies. I didn't watch the full broadcast, but I like to kind of go back and see some of the acceptance speeches and whatnot, and she was awarded with a Perseverance Award. And I watched the story that accompanied the show and the acceptance speech. What I found out was this poor little girl was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer at the age of 4. And what was so noteworthy about the organization that he works with is that they understood this was a dire situation. His mind wasn't necessarily on the game when he's concerned about his daughter. So they put him on the practice team so he could focus on family matters and, just be a support system for her as she worked toward recovery. And then eventually, when she got a little stronger, he also got mentally strong. And he decided, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen. I want her to be able to see me play. The fans rallied behind. You'd see you'd see signs for Leah Strong, and it's a really beautiful story. She is in remission now. She's 5 years old. I dare you to watch the story. I'll put it down in the description box, but seriously, I dare you to watch it without shedding a bit of tears. I know I was in a puddle of tears when I saw it. And it's not even just because of the cancer. It's the triumph of it all and the smile on her face. I swear she could light a room. So cute, so adorable. And you root for her because she's just got this amazing spirit. And like I said, it just transcends any type of fanness or, oh, I like this team or the other. It's like you don't even care. The NFL connection puts a spotlight on something that we should never forget about, and that's pediatric care. So it's a wonderful thing. And so that was kind of my experience with the story over the summer. And then just last week, I'm looking through the Yahoo feed, and I see that Leah Still was awarded with the Wheaties box. And that just put a great smile on my face. So when I dug a little deeper, I found out it's not something that's being sold nationwide. It was something more created for the family, but still a great honor nevertheless. If you're not familiar with the Wheaties box, basically they have a tradition of commemorating boxes with particular athletes who show great athleticism, the epitome of whatever the sport they are excelling in. So, the Tiger Woods of the world, Michael Phelps, especially after winning the record-setting 8 Olympic gold medals, Davis and White being the first ice dancing team to win gold at the Olympics, those types of people who triumph. And I just feel like she's so fitting. She fits and embodies that spirit, and she has the athletic tie. Wonderful honor, and I was just really happy about it, and I wanted to share it with you. Let me know if maybe you know more about the story or whatnot, or if there's something that I'm missing. Like I said, I'll have the link to the video I saw down in the description box. Check it out. Give them a thumbs up or something. If anything, I can't do much, but if anything, I send positive vibes. I'm so happy, and I just wanted to share this story with you. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about falls under the category of health and beauty, and it involves discussion about the facial brush. The one I'm currently using is made by Acne Free, but there are other brands out there on the market, and I haven't used them all, but I imagine they all generally have the same type of effect and will probably come out with the same kind of results. This isn't a product placement discussion so much as it is about using the actual tool. I think it's something that everybody, boy or girl, would be happy to have in their collection. Here's how I kind of got involved with even having a facial brush. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was gifted a Clarisonic for Christmas, and it was the Mia travel one. Really great. I liked it. Had a rechargeable battery. You could put it in the shower. Again, it was the travel version, so you could travel with it. I loved it. But then it died. So I don't know if it was just old or user error. I'm not sure what happened, but it died. And I went a couple of years without a brush, and I found I really missed having it. I think it's one of those things you take for granted until you don't have it, and then you realize it was a really great tool to have. Now, Clarisonic is a little bit more on the expensive end, but it comes with different options and different brushes, and so you kind of pay for a little more options. But at a baseline, if you're looking for something to help you exfoliate your skin, I think this is a pretty decent product. There are other mid-type brands that's kind of in the middle, some brushes that are in the $30-40 range. I say this is a good brand. It's under $30. I think it was like $20, and it came with 2 brush heads. That was the real thing that got me. The replacement brushes for a Clarisonic can run you up to $25. And if you can afford that, like I said, more money, more options. I think it's a great thing. I loved my brushes when I used it. But this guy, the replacement brushes come in a 2-pack, and they're for about $6. And I thought, that's great. I can do that. I'm by no means an expert. I'm not a dermatologist. I just only know from my experiences what have worked for me. And I've had lots of years to try different things and work with different combinations. So, I can only speak for myself. Here's what I want to do before you go run out and buy something. I want to just kind of give you perspective, okay? Is this going to help you clear up that acne or whatever problem that you're looking for to fix overnight? No. I would never tell you that. It's not an overnight fix. Will you notice results pretty immediately? Maybe. I know I did. And that wasn't necessarily like pigment or anything, but just the quality of the skin. It's smoother. Ultimately, I say you just have to kind of try it and see what works for you. But I don't want anybody going out thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be instant. Because that's not necessarily the case. But do I think it's a helpful tool? Do I think it's useful? Yes, I absolutely do. If it's new to you and you have questions, totally I'm up for you talking to me about it and having discussions with me. I love talking about health and beauty type things. I love hearing about new products. There are a lot of products out there in the market. You go to the store, there's hundreds of things to choose from. And you can't choose them all, So I'm totally up for having a separate discussion, making a separate video, Q&A, and things of that nature. If that's something that enough of you want, let me know and we can do that. I think my face is better for having a brush as opposed to never having one. It's great. It's great to have a brush. I recommend it. And like I said, if you have any questions, send them my way. Put them in the comments down below or follow me on Twitter and you can tweet me questions and I'll try to answer, and hopefully we can build a little community of people who've used facial brushes and tell me about the different brands that are out there. I could put it on my blog and people can explore and, like I said, pick what works for you. Customize your routine for your face, for your skin. There are a lot of great products out there, and there's something for everyone. So I definitely suggest you look into something like this for yourself. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is a company called Only Natural Pet. So this is the catalog that I received with my order, but it's also online. You can go to the webpage. I'll put the link down in the description box so that you can check it out. And I think it's a really great resource. Now, let me give you a little context. Okay, I've got my little guy. Let me introduce you to him. His name's Jasper. He's a little Chihuahua guy. He's my little guy. Love this dude. He's like my son. He is 6 years old, little Chihuahua boy, and I love him to death. Well, this little guy, when he was a puppy, probably about 1.5 or 2 years old, he would get the puffiest eyes, especially, around spring and on windy days. But even when it wasn't particularly windy, he would just scratch his eyes, puffy, and because he's a dog and he doesn't listen necessarily when you say stop, or he'll stop when you're watching him, but then the minute you leave the room, he starts scratching. He was causing some massive irritation, even cutting himself with his nails. Of course, not like dripping all over the place, but scabbing and really not in a good place. And I took him to the vet a few times, and they were like, well, I can't really do a skin graft because it's so close to the eyeball. But like on the second or third visit, the vet said, some dogs are allergic to grains. Maybe you should try using a grain-free food. Maybe that'll help. So I had never heard of this concept of grain-free food. I had just given him food that I had given all my other dogs that I've had in my life. And so I did some research online, and I found this company, Only Natural Pet. Now, Only Natural Pet is a pet store. It's like, think of a human type store like a Trader Joe's or a Sprouts or some kind of co-op that focuses on organic and holistic type of brands and foods. It's very similar, only it's for pets. And so they had a category of dog food, and then you could customize for what you're looking for. So I said grain-free, and he was used to chicken, so I thought, well, let's keep him with chicken. And it gave me this list of different dog foods that they sell. And then I did a cross-reference check, and I looked at products that I thought were interesting and that he might enjoy, and then I saw what was sold locally. You could also order the food online, but I just wasn't in a place where I wanted it to be mailed to me. I didn't know if I would be home to receive it, and so I thought, well, it's probably better for me to just pick it up at the store. Plus, if I don't order at the right time, I might just need to stop at the store, and I want to know which stores will have it. So I got this collection. I found places that sold the food that I needed. Long story short, he did have an allergy to grains, and as you saw in his little face when I held him up, that is not a problem anymore. So for that, I was like, this place is awesome, because not only did it give me a list of different types of products I could use, it also had reviews from people who've used them, and the people online and over the phone, if you call the 800 number, are really helpful. I've used them for other type of things. Little boy over there, he also has epilepsy. It's something that was diagnosed when he was 2 years old. Poor little guy. I'm talking about grain allergies and epilepsy and whatnot. I tell you, he's a happy dog, and most of the time it doesn't even really affect him, but it's something that he does have. And when we were first discovering it and talking to the vet, I was told basically dogs don't have a special medication for epilepsy. And she said, we could try the human grade stuff that we would give a bigger dog. The problem is that he is such a small dog, we're going to have to monitor him very closely because it could hurt his liver. And I was a little horrified. First of all, I didn't even know canine epilepsy was a thing. Upon doing research, I found out it's a lot more common than we think. It's just that a lot of times we're not home to witness it, and because they can't tell us, we don't know. That was a big shocker to me, and, well, I thought to myself, okay, it's not like something he's having every day. The doctors did their blood tests, they monitored him, they had him, you know, kind of in their office for a couple of hours and observed him. For all intents and purposes, he's a pretty healthy dog. And I didn't have the thousands of dollars to go see a specialist. I thought, well, what if this company has something? And I was able to find some supplements that dealt with epilepsy. And that can also be another video of its own. If I have enough questions about it, we could do a separate video about the products that I use for my dog. And of course, if you have any questions, comment down below, follow me on Twitter. Like I said, it's something that I found really useful. Now, would I say that, you know, it's the end-all, be-all alternative, just go holistic, totally 100%? Not necessarily. I've had a dog in my life who had heartworm, and when you're dealing with heartworm, you need to do everything you can to kill those parasites. So we had to go the medical route. It was a tough, strenuous type of process, but luckily we detected early enough, and our dog's still with us. So I'm not saying go all one way or the other, but if there are things you can do to help soothe your dog, for instance, like with my little guy, it helps him with recovery, and I sometimes put in his food and drink just to kind of help with his nerves and his relaxation, because I think sometimes stress causes episodes, and I've noticed as time has gone by, and like I said, he was diagnosed at 2, he's 6 now, I noticed that when he has seizures, they're not as intense as when he first started having them. So I find it to be useful. But, you know, that's up to you. I'm telling you about it because I think it's a great resource. Even if it's as far as just finding dog food for your, you know, your dog who's allergic to grains. It was just a great resource in general. The people online, well, I think I did a chat once, but mostly the people on the phone, because I specifically remember talking to them about the epilepsy tincture that I ended up buying. They're really helpful, and they don't push you in any one direction. They just tell you what's available. They give you hints. They'll email you a link if that's what you need, so you can check out the product lists. Really great. And if that's something that you're looking for and didn't even know it existed, now you know it exists. I am sharing it with you because I think it's great to know that those are options out there. Check it out. And like I said, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'm happy to talk to you about it and give you the link, and like I said, it'll be down in the description box. Check it out, and I hope you have good luck finding something that maybe you need for your pets. And that's only Natural Pet. So the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is my movies in review. About a week ago, I saw a movie called Spy. It stars Melissa McCarthy, Jude Law, Jason Statham, Rose Byrne. Basically, Melissa McCarthy plays a CIA agent, Susan Cooper. And she, though trained as a CIA agent, she's kind of found herself kind of stuck in a rut. She's in the background, and she's the voice in Jude Law's character, Bradley Fine's ear. And they make a great team. She's able to lead him through his missions and guide him, and it's a great team effort. But she kind of wants a little bit more. And then a mission goes awry, and it presents her with this opportunity to really step up to the plate. And boy, does she ever. Once she does, the hilarity ensues, and an actual fun ride comes along too. It was so funny. I loved the action sequences. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it to be as fun as it was. Maybe that's what made me like it even more. I'll tell you, also, Melissa McCarthy kicks butt. I had never seen her in a role like that. I saw her in Bridesmaids, but I'd never seen her like this. It was fantastic. I loved rooting for her. It was a great film. I recommend that you watch it. Also, let me know what you thought if you have seen it. I'm totally curious. I loved it. And that is my movie and review. And the final thing I'm going to talk to you about today is my song of the week. That honor goes to Fall Out Boy's Immortals. So about 3 weeks ago, Fall Out Boy came to Tucson as one of the final stops. I think it was the second to last stop to their Boys of Summer tour. Now, as somebody who's lived in Tucson all her life, I can tell you, usually we get acts before they become big. So, like the Michael Bublé's of the world, who came to Tucson like twice, and then I didn't even know it, and then all of a sudden he is the biggest thing ever, and he only goes to Phoenix. That kind of stuff. John Legend too. Lots of big acts that are big now oftentimes come to Tucson when they're still on the horizon. And, you know, so it's kind of rare for us to get big acts. But they came on by, and incidentally, they happen to be my sister's favorite band. She's been a fan of theirs since she was like 12. She's 21 now. And so, of course, for her birthday, we had to take her. And so she, myself, and my other sister went, and we had a great time. It was really fun to see them because they grew up with the music as opposed to me, who just watched them and purchased the music for them and listened on the radio. I had a great time, but watching the wonder in their eyes was something to behold. And it was really great. It was a fun night, and I like actually a lot of the songs that I have heard on the radio. I was surprised by how many songs I recognized, and it was so cool to be in that space. They sound just like the album. It's great. But what really surprised me was when they played their song Immortals. Have you heard this song? I heard Immortals because of the Big Hero 6 soundtrack. They recorded the song for the movie, and so I knew of it because of my sisters, because like I said, they're huge Fall Out Boy fans. But the first time I actually heard it and listened to it was when I was watching Big Hero 6. And I kid you not, I told my sister that song just worked perfectly. I later on did some research and found out that, you know, that is what it was intended to do. Disney called in Fall Out Boy, told them about the story and what they were looking for, and you know, asked if they'd be interested in creating a song. They were interested. They went and they wrote this great song, and when you watch it in the film, it just fits. It's like a puzzle piece. It works. It's beautiful. A masterpiece. And that film, by the way, won the Oscar for Best Animated Film for its year. So, congratulations to them for that. So, anyway, we're at the concert, and they actually did a stripped-down acoustic version of it, so at first I didn't even recognize it. But my sister, I'll never forget it, because she said, "That's Immortals." Then I listened, and, oh, you're right, it is! I was so excited. I'll tell you a little bit about how I go to concerts. I haven't been to many, but what I consciously try to not do is look up the set list. I know there are songs that I can love by an artist, and so of course you want to hear all your favorites, and you want to hear all the classics and whatnot, and everything that's on the radio. But, you know, when they've got such a large catalog, sometimes that's not always possible. So, the most authentic and best way for me to go is to just not even look at the set list at all. I just want to be surprised. I know I'm going to have a good time because I like the band, so just surprise me. Well, I definitely wasn't expecting Immortals. Part of me was thinking, well, it is kind of current. You know, it's on their new album. It came out with the film. They could do it, but then I thought, it is part of a Disney soundtrack, so I wasn't sure. But sure enough, they played it, and it was so beautiful. I loved it. And after the concert, I could not get that out of my head. My sister asked me what was my favorite performance, and I still don't have an answer yet, because I really enjoyed quite a few songs, like a lot of them. But I mentioned this one as my standout because it really did stick with me. It was with me after I saw Big Hero 6, which was not too long ago. I saw it about a month ago. So I was really on a kick with it then. And then the concert happens, and I hear it again, and I'm listening to the little acoustic recording I got on my phone, all shaky and stuff, and then listening to it on YouTube. Of great song. I love it. It fits the movie perfectly. I won't tell you too much about that because I don't want to spoil the film. I recommend you watch that too. I know, 5 things I like, not 6. But I want you to maybe check it out. Let me know what you think about the song. Tell me how you think about how it fits in the film. Like I said, I think it's wonderful. I think it's a great song. And also let me know if you got to see them on tour for the Boys of Summer tour, and if you got to hear them sing Immortals. Like I said, I didn't check a set list, so, you know, maybe they sang it everywhere like that. Was it acoustic every time? I don't know. I'm curious. Let me know what you thought and what your experiences were like. If you're not familiar with the song, I will put a link to the video down in the description box. Check it out. Listen. I hope you love it as much as I do. And yay! That concludes our list. Thank you for watching and spending time with me, listening to me talk about some things that made me say wow over the past week. I really appreciate you coming along with me for the ride. Please comment on any of the things that I talked about. If you have questions or just want to discuss them in more detail, I'm totally up for that. That's why I'm here. And make sure you go ahead and subscribe, because that's good for me to know that you're watching. Also, follow me on Twitter. I'll put the link down in the description box. And I'm going to set up a blog. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I kind of have it in the works. I just haven't released it because it's still kind of under construction. But follow me on that. That's where we can also have some discussions, and I'll post links about the things that I talk about. And have a great, wonderful day. I will see you next time. Thank you again. I'm Viola. This was 5 Things I Like. Bye.